conservation movement in the town of Harpswell has been active now for over 20 years, where people get involved to preserve and protect varying habitats and environments. One of the most recent of these projects is right here at Dunning Farm, and the project actually embodies two of the conservation values. First, to preserve and protect forests and wetlands, and secondly, to preserve a historic working farm. Here in the small town of Harpswell, the landscape remains very rural at the heart, with a bordering coastline characteristic of any peninsula. The land remains open with very little development of an urban society, and for the most part, that is how these citizens prefer it. It is truly scenic and unique, with the quaint charm of a fishing village. There have been countless movements and projects to preserve much of this land because it is crucial to protecting the environment and surrounding waters. The latest is in a class of its own, however, as this farm, surrounded by two bodies of water, was kept as such. Here lives a family who were given the opportunity of a lifetime just over a year ago. Helen and Walter Norton are two citizens of the town who purchased this land for a steep price shortly before advertising for a tenant. They explain why they did this in the first place.
It's the last farm in Harpswell.
There's so much development taking place, and much of it, the good farms are going, because they're the best locations for new housing and that sort of thing.
And people can't afford the estate taxes, and so they sell them.
Okay, maybe 10 minutes.
Joe Grady is the tenant of this farm now, where he lives with his family while also working as a high school teacher in the city of Portland. He remains grateful for his newfound opportunity.
Land like this is precious, and to have it be productive in some capacity and remain open, I think there's a quality that's really important to keep present in Maine, especially because it's really typical of our character, I think. The winter inhabitants are the sheep, the cows, and the chickens. Without knowing the future, that's our goal, is to create become part of this community as much as we can. It's been a really warm and receptive community, and we feel like there's definitely a place in this community for a local farm raising a diversity of products, and we feel really good about our first year, and we'll just hopefully continue that as long as possible. There is an amazing opportunity. The tangible piece of evidence is that this land has been preserved, but I think what's not as visible is the opportunity that preservation creates. The actual act of purchasing and preserving the land, I think, is the first step, and what's really behind it all is an incredible opportunity for everybody in the community to benefit from the use of that land, as opposed to one or two families were it to be divided or something like that. I think that's a really important point.
Reporting for CMJ 351, this is Thomas Owen.